What is up, everybody, and welcome back to Divine Journey 2. I don't think I've really done much since our last video. Still got Billy wandering around somewhere. Walter is also somewhere. I'm not sure. He tends to actually wander off. Do I see him on the map anywhere? He's out here by the pier. He's seemed to earn a liking for this place. I don't know why he's underneath. Whatever. Walter, you do you. So last time we did the last parts of the Abyssalcraft questline, and we got ourselves into blood magic. that is what I have done. So between this time and last time, I did get a whole bunch more, or a couple more of these dread crystals. So I have 2 on me. I have placed our blood altar over here for a minute just because I can place my meat bucket there and just sacrifice blood. It is full, but we're going to drain it today. I don't have an idea of how I'm going to set up the actual blood altar for this thing. So I'm trying to come up with a plan for it that involves the full-size altar for it. But the structure is a 25 by 25. So it's going to have like a big structure like this wrapped around it if I'm going to put it inside something. Otherwise, it's not going to fit in anything. But yeah, that's going to be interesting. I'm going to be thinking about that between this time and next. I also know we're going to need multiple altars over time for a few things. Because for one thing, we're going to need to be able to autocraft stuff. And 2, we're going to need to be able to set up one for blood production. Because we're not always going to have this set up for us to just fill it with our own life essence with the Dagger of Sacrifice. But that is not until quite a bit later. Because I want to say throughout all of this stuff, you just do it manually. And then you get into here, and you get some more automation stuff, and more Abyssalcraft. And then I think it's finally down here. It's somewhere. I don't know where it is, because I've never actually gotten to this point in blood magic. But I know about the Well of Suffering ritual that you can get in blood magic that gives you essentially blood production. Where's the book? This one. Let's see. Ritual Master. Somewhere in here is the Well of Suffering. For those of you who prefer to use mobs instead of your own health, the Well of Suffering damages all living non-player entities in a 10-block radius and places the health in a connected altar. So this essentially becomes a life essence production. And I've seen several ways to do it, where you just put witches in there that heal themselves, you put cursed earth in there, you put mob spawners in there, you put whatever. As long as it has a steady supply of health. Look for a blood altar within its range, checking 5 blocks horizontally and 10 blocks vertically, unaltered. When it finds an altar, it will store its location internally. If there isn't an altar nearby, the ritual will not work. The ritual will deal 1 HP per entity and place 25 LP into the altar, 100 for peaceful animals, which can be augmented with sacrifice runes. I'm wondering if... So I have our setup over there for passive animals and stuff. I'm wondering if I could figure out a way to do a passive animal setup for that one. And I think a couple of them... I wonder, does the Tomo count as a passive or a hostile from Divine RPG? Because those guys, I think they had a decent amount of health. Either way. Today, I don't actually want to play a whole lot with blood magic. We're going to get a little bit into it because we need it for a few other things. But the first thing we are going to do is actually craft our blood extractor from Evilcraft. So this required another one of those gork. This required another one of these dread crystals. So I did make 3. We are going to end up using another one right now because we need it to make our infusion or our blood orb, which we just put it in here and it's going to absorb, I think, most of this. I don't remember if it's all of it or like half. I just know it requires a... Okay, so it's only 2,500. That gives us our weak blood orb. And we right click it. And that is now connected to us. So I can put it back in here and it's going to just absorb all of that. It has a limited capacity. I think it's only 5,000. So it'll drop us down to 2,500 on there. But I'm going to let that sit there for a little while. That is all we're going to do with actual blood magic for the moment. That gives us 1 coagulated blood. This gives us 4 soul vials. Definitely going to be useful. But what I want to get into is I want to play with Evilcraft a little bit. This is a mod I'm not super familiar with. Now, we need these darkened animals. Or darkened animals. Darkened apple, but I'm reading animals. Do not eat. Enjoyed by animals about to read a book. And it gives us an extra one just in case. So to make this, we need 3 dark blocks and an apple in an induction smelter or alloy smelter. Well, because of our stuff we have set up, now let's put these in here. I have dark blocks. I should probably up the capacity on that a little bit. Now let's give you one of those. We're going to end up using them, but we're getting them from our quarry that is right behind here. So we're getting plenty of those, among a million other things. Also, I was wondering what these preserved curiosities are. I'd never actually looked at them or tried to get them or anything. Apparently, you can use them to just get like random research on Thumbcraft. So, like, you just see the little icons appear there and go to the book on the right. And you've gained some knowledge. I have a feeling I can just spam right-click that for a while, and we're going to get a whole bunch of random stuff in the Thaumonomicon when we get to that one. But I might be wrong there. I have no idea how those things work. Anyways. Let's grab ourselves an apple. We should have plenty of them in here. We're going to end up needing a bunch more of these. I got to go hunt those in a tomb. We need them for beacons. How am I going over there? My induction smelter's right here. So this, we're going to have to, and we can't use red shirt number 3 for this. We're going to have to feed this to an animal and then kill it. Now, enjoyed by animals about to read a book. That'll give me a stack of apples, which I don't really need. But this is our book. After feeding the apple to an animal, let it die and throw a book onto the resulting particles. This is the guidebook for Evilcraft. So what we're going to do is we'll shut off our magnet. Grab a book, which I might have one in here. And after I sleep, go see if we can find something that we can feed this to. Now, let's give it to the pig. Hey, there we go. Okay, so you have to throw it into that. That gives us our Origins of Darkness book. Have I ever looked at this book? No. I don't think I've ever even crafted it. Belly. I will put you in there. And our apples can go in there. Pork chops go in the system. Do I know anything about this mod? Not really. I know it also revolves around blood, but it's also more difficult to make. So we also need to get these dark gems, or dark power gems. Place down 5 sources of blood and toss a dark gem into it. It will consume all 5 buckets of blood to produce a single dark power gem. Now, I want to say the way we do this is with this blood extractor. I just go around killing things. And that is how we actually fill it up. It's got a capacity of 5 buckets. So at the moment, that is perfectly fine. I can take this into a tomb, excuse me, and go play with some mobs while I hunt for another set of towers, because the ones I have marked over there, there's nothing left of them. I think I've already collected everything at these towers. But I think doing this, yeah, we should be collecting blood. And I can use dark tanks to expand the capacity of this syringe. Yeah, that's 2 of those. Do I have any more of these towers actually, like, on our map? They're actually a little difficult to spot. You can see I've explored quite a bit since our last adventure in here. I've been doing the achievements, and yeah. This was my latest run for the achievements, was all this over here. Just pyramid to pyramid to pyramid. And exploring, and more pyramids, and more pyramids. I've done so many pyramids. It's insane. Found it. Oh, good grief, there's a lot of them in here. I did stick one of these guys into a soul vial at one point, so if we ever need... Oh, hello. I didn't know I could get these in here. Take those, though. I did get one of these guys in a soul vial, so if we need the hearts that they drop for anything later on, we can always just stick them in a spawner. Ow. Good old explosion. Anyways. How much blood do we have? We have 3151. And we one-shot these guys. There we go. We have nearly full. I'm gonna grab the Heart of Ra, or what is this thing called? Heart of Ra from this other tower. Are there 3 towers here? And then we're gonna go ahead and head back. But I think that should be enough for us to get our first one of these dark power gems. There we are, and our blood altar's weak blood orb is full. Our blood orb can store a base of 5,000 life essence. Nice. Okay, so we got 5,000 life essence in there. Then toss that stuff away. Put that stuff away. I don't really need any of this stuff, but I'm gonna stick it in here anyway. We've got our weak blood orb. And for our dark power gem, we just got to throw a gem into the blood, but it wants us to make this, which this is going to be our step into true automation for all this stuff. Or this is going to be the first step into evil craft. I want to say that runs on blood. I forget what it's called. We looked at it last time, because that's how you can make these. The blood infuser. There you go. Because then it only takes 1,000 instead of 5. Let's get ourselves a dark gem. And we should be able to come over here somewhere. Let's go ahead and fill this up with blood. And throw our dark gem in. Really? It's solidified on me. I don't need you to harden. Can I do anything to prevent you from hardening? Well, I get some stuff out of that at least. Okay, well, I guess I gotta go kill a few more things. Let's try this again. Dang it! Okay, my magnet is off. Gotta do this quick. We're doing it inside. There we go. That was so annoying. I think I actually need a few of these, so I'm gonna end up having to do that a couple more times, but still, that was annoying. It just kept drying on me. So that gives me one blood bucket. Now, yeah, we got to get up to a tier 2 blood orb now. Oh wait, no, we need this, the hardened blood droplets. Because I want to say it was... yeah, this. Okay, so no, I only need the 1 dark power gem, but I do need 4 hardened blood droplets. And we have these hardened blood shards, because... got 5 of these. So... I'm curious about this. Where is... I need to swap this out. Because I have, like, the inventory stuff on this piece of armor. Interesting. So if I smelt these, I just get the 9 shards out of them. Well, I can get them out of other things as well. Well, I think for now we're just going to stick these guys in here. That'll give me 36 of these shards. Okay, let's get some coagulated blood. I have quite a bit of it. And we're going to come stand over here at the blood altar and just make a bunch of this stuff. Okay, I went ahead and just made the 32. While I stand here waiting for this, using coagulated blood from Tinker's Construct, make a hardened blood droplet. Yeah, I made that. It gives us 16 coagulated blood drops. And that actually unlocks quite a few things, because we unlock our alchemy tables, which, from what I remember, I'm going to have to use integrated dynamics to automate. Or I have to sit here and try to rename things, because they're annoying. Wish reward. I don't really need any of that. Well, the sugar could be... out of everything there, the only thing that I don't have, like, renewable at the moment is the bronze blend. But I already have that automated for RF powder. Rudimentary snares. These are used to collect demonic will. Increases with the health of the mob. Any mob it hits will have a chance to gain a particle effect, which will cause the mob to drop demonic will. I have an idea about that. They're not super expensive. We can just make a few of them. But I just smacked my mic. I'm not going to touch that just yet. Or maybe we will do the soul stuff. Because this stuff isn't super difficult. We are going to need to upgrade our altar soon. Or at least sooner than later. We can get a dagger of sacrifice, which means if I bring other mobs to the altar, I can kill them and it'll fill up the altar instead of me. But let's see, we can make this blood infusion core, which we should have everything for now. There we go, I'm full health. And these coagulated blood drops, can I use these for anything? Just the culinary generator. Yeah, well, y'all can go in here. Anyways, this thing we need to make is going to be 1 dark power gem for hardened blood droplets and 8 of these blood shards. That gives us our blood infusion core. And that gives us a couple of healing stones. Good to know we can have those. And we get the blood infuser. So this will allow us to make a lot more of these blood gems without having to worry about anything. In order to make this, we need syntheticite forges and ender infusers and just a whole bunch of steaming restonia. I am going to need multiple of these. Because as you can see, it's used for quite a few different things. It's got 10 pages of recipes. Some of them we're not going to really need to automate, but some of them we will. I can make leather with it. Not that I need that. I make mushrooms with it. Not that I need that. Fermented spider eyes, blaze rods, nether wart. I don't think I really need any of this stuff. I don't know what blood waxed coal is for. I think the only ones I really need it for, blood infused leather. That is used for a few things. We're going to need to automate something for that. Bloody dust. I think I'm going to need it for that. Runic plates. Dark power gems, definitely. Iron promise acceptor. I think some of this I might be able to just on-demand craft them. This is something I want to get to, is the undead sapling. Because from what I know, this is a way to automate blood early without having to do a mob farm kind of thing. But I think for the moment, our first one is just going to be for these dark power gems. Let's see if we can get the stuff together for this. I actually do have an ender infuser. It's right here. It was for a quest earlier on. But yeah, we're going to end up making some more of those. Go ahead and put these in here. Over here. We get our blood infusion core, 2 ender infusers. Round it with hardened blood drops. And the syntheticite forges. I don't think I have this stuff. I have one sitting somewhere. Yeah, here we go. I have one. So I only have to make 5 of them. I just need the netherite furnaces. Excuse me, Billy. I need my blood infuser. Yeah. Playing with blood today. Okay, let's just toss all this stuff in here. I don't think I actually need it at the moment. But we have a blood infuser. And as I said, one of the first things we're going to end up doing is just make more dark power gems with it. Doesn't take very long to do it. And there we go. We have another dark power gem. So that gives us our dark tank. It can craft More items and store more blood at higher tiers, which are gained through promises of tenacity. Okay. Iron Promise Acceptor. Yeah. So I need 10,000 blood for this one now. That means I need to upgrade this guy. And I want to say if I do this, it's supposed to upgrade it. Yeah, 21,000 now. How do you like that? So now I can go play with some mobs, get some more blood. And let's see if we can get this up to a decent point. I don't know. Oh, you know what? Let's make some of these rudimentary snares while we're at it. There, we'll just make 16 of them. It gives us a couple more in the quest. And we're going to see if we can get some will while we're out running around killing things. Okay, we're back. And what kind of capacity does this actually have? Oh, this only holds 10,000? Well, this is full. I did get a couple of will. I went to the Wildwood. Killed a couple of Cadillions. The cow creatures. And I got a little bit of stuff out of them. So I got a few. This one's kind of terrible. 0.01 quality. But these ones are 0.4s. That should be enough to get us started at least. So I need Inuri. Empowered Inuri block. You in there, you give us our first promise. Iron Promise Acceptor. And also we burned through all of those things, but it did not give us enough will. Gem holds up to 64 demonic will and will automatically absorb demonic will you pick up. You can transfer will between Tartaric gems by holding right click with it in your hand. So in order to make it, you need the Hellfire Forge. I don't want to play with that just yet. Well, I mean, that's not that difficult. And you need to give it some will. How hard is it to make this? Again with the Syntheticite Forges. I think I'm adding recipes for those. Also, I don't think we actually have netherrack on a wall anywhere, so it's just in our system. Okay, so I should have Forge and Syntheticite automated now. I've set up a few things, including down there. You can kind of see it, but that is a Forge and Syntheticite setup. Got a compactor on top to make the constant and plates that it needs for it. But I don't have a whole lot of syntheticite in our system at the moment. We're not going to be able to make a huge amount of those. But you can see I went through a lot of steps to automate just to make this. We need a lot of dark steel. Forge and syntheticite forges for this. Let's go ahead and get 4 of them. And I think I should be able to do this. Missing items. Dark steel block. I have all the dark steel. Oh, I only grabbed 8. Okay, I don't have all the dark steel, but still. There, now I have all the dark steel. So this is our first Hellfire Forge. Not what I was expecting to work on at the moment, but we've got our first Hellfire Forge. This is something we are definitely going to have to automate at some point. But that means I can make our first Tartaric gem. That requires a Mithril Ingot, Shadow Gem Shard, Dark Gem, and Corallium Gem. So I get Shadow Gem Shard, Mithril Ingot, Corallium Gem, Dark Gem. Now I don't know if it's going to let me use this. Probably not. I have no idea how to use this block. Oh god, that's a lot to read. Okay, I can't figure that out. I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to play around with that a little bit, see if I can figure it out. I have a suspicion it has to do with these being below 1 will quality. I don't know if you can combine them. No. Okay, well, I will figure that out. Before that, we have this iron promise acceptor that we can't really do anything with because we need to upgrade our stuff. I call it stuff. So we need to make the Promise of Tenacity 1. In order to do it, we need the Bowl of Promises. And in order to make the Bowl of Promises, I need a filled bowl of empty promises and 5,000 blood. In order to make the filled bowl of empty promises, I need the Tartaric gems. Because then we also need this stuff. Magicalis is from the alchemy table, which I think requires an upgraded blood orb. I don't think we can use the base level. Ascendant? Yeah, that's not happening. I think this is a tier 2 essence. We've got a few steps to go to get there. That's right here. Tier 2 essences. I'm not there yet. But what we do need to do is... What does that give me? Oh, that's a lot of mithril. Thank you. We need to make our first alchemy table. And we need to make some blank runes to upgrade our altar. Now, the problem is, the runes for upgrading the altar are expensive. They cost 6 steel blocks each. Not to mention 2 blank slates, which are 1,000 life points, plus one of these special stones, which we have a bunch of. So if I find any of those stones in here, I can learn how to spell again. So let's say we use our limestone. And we use some of our umberstone. I can get it from both of these if I just put them in here. So that should give us our first blank, or our first slate. It's just a blank slate. I think there's a quest for these. But I'm going to have to make quite a few of these, because I think I need a total of 16 of them to get to the first tier on the altar. Which means I'm going to have to sacrifice some more blood. Word of advice. Be careful with the sacrificial dagger. You can kill yourself. And I did. Not intentionally, but you can. So I've got ourselves a bunch of these blank runes. We should have enough of our dark steel blocks. This is going to hurt. But I've got 46 blank slates. Kind of surprised there wasn't a quest for those. But, that's fine. So to make our blank runes, we just need dark steel blocks, blank slates, and our apprentice blood orb. I don't think it actually does anything with the orb. It's just part of the crafting recipe. Give me my orb back. Also, Applied Energistics does not like trying to automate with this, so if you're going to automate this, like these specific orbs, do it outside of Applied Energistics. So that gives us our 8 runes, which I don't think I have anything hiding right here. No. I can upgrade our altar right here. One of this will go back on there. But the rest of these, I can actually put them on my hotbar, will become runes. And that should upgrade us to a tier 2 altar. So that should give us tier 2, I think. It doesn't really say anything. Our life essence doesn't go up or anything, but it's there. I suggest using the Inspector's Scandalum to see where to place the blocks. Right-click to change the altar it displays, and shift right-click on a blood altar to display it. So that gives us the Inspector Scandalum. Gives us reinforced slates. And yeah, now we need an alchemy table. Good grief, that's a recipe. What was it? Hardened iridium glass. Well, that's doable. Blocks of tritium, we have dark steel blocks, we're using a lot of today. And this stuff we have. Well, I guess let's go make one of those. Okay, I should have everything for this. Let's see if we can make our first alchemy table. What are you telling me? Oh, I'm one short. That's just me doing bad math. There we go. We've got our first alchemy table. And please remember that none of this will be staying here long term. I want you like that. I want you like that. Yeah. We got our alchemy table. This requires our blood orb to function. I don't know what that slot is for. But our alchemy table unlocks the ability to make essence. Let's take the sugar. None of those really matter. Tier 1 essences. Aether, Aquasalus, Insinium, and Terre. I think these are used to make the first blood orb upgrade. Gusty cores. If we look at the orbs, so to make our apprentice blood orb, base of 25,000 life essence, it requires this corallium decorated blood star, which I think technically we can actually make. And it doesn't actually require the previous blood orb. Oh, 12,000 LP. Requires a tier 2 altar. I think that's a tier 2 altar. That tier to 2. I think it's a tier 2 altar. It just doesn't quite have enough in there for what we need. Okay, let's see if we can make this thing. And that gives us our corallium decorated blood star. I don't think that itself was a quest, but apparently it is. Where's that? Oh, that's right here. And it gives us our 4 dark power gems back. Nice. Well, at least I don't have to go through the chaos of crafting one of these crystal things again. Now I can just make our apprentice blood orb. Now to do this, I'm going to have to stand here and actually add to this. Yeah, that should be more than enough. Just to be certain. So this should give us our apprentice blood orb. And we should have a little bit of life essence left in there. Yeah! Apprentice blood orb. The apprentice will bleed. Connect that to us, and I'll go ahead and throw it in there. It'll absorb what blood is left. But that gives us our nice apprentice orb. I'll just use our bucket of meat to heal ourselves back up after that. That should be good enough. Now, that gives us some of those hardened blood shards back. Okay, so, in order to get further into evil craft, we need to work on these essences. In order to get these essences, I need to make a whole bunch of things. Simple catalyst, aerogel. Aerogel I have not done any automation for. Apparently it's annoying and semi-broken to automate, but what about this simple catalyst? Oh, that's easy! I can easily automate that. I just have to give it a blood orb. These apprentice blood orbs might be the easiest ones to make a bunch of. I don't think it specifically requires a certain one, but it seems to... Okay, so I can use the weak blood orb. I might stick the weak blood orb on that one. How many things do we need? The alchemy table 4. Good grief, there's 18 recipes. Potion flask, strengthened catalyst, Fensa, phantom ink, Virtus. I do not know how many of these we're gonna need. I definitely don't need that. Simple lengthening catalyst. I don't need that. Potentia, obsidian brick path, clay I don't need. Runic plate, crystallis, reductus, string I don't need. Sanctus, terre, stone brick path, sand I don't need. Intensive catalyst. Okay, great, there's a lot in here. Anyway. At least the weak blood orb, although higher tiers, can be used. I feel like the weak blood orb might actually be... The weak blood orb is actually more difficult to craft than the apprentice blood orb. Purely because of how much essence it takes. Or how many steps it takes to make it. The apprentice blood orb, I can make pretty easily. Just go kill a few mobs, fill this up, and I can make a couple of them. It gives us the dark power gem. That gives us the dark power gems, and then I just have to put some blood down and harden it to get the shards. And that's that. That's not too bad. The weak blood orb, I have to do like 4 steps on the Abyssal Craft altars to make it. So that's rather annoying and really time consuming because those take a while to charge. Speaking of which, I haven't actually shown you guys. I did some upgrades over here. They're probably not necessary. But we now have 28 statues. And every single one of these has all 7 statues. Now, do I need all of them? Probably not. But the amount of PE we are getting from this is quite a bit higher than I was getting before. And it is currently filling up this Dreadlands energy container, which holds 240,000. I still have not determined whether it's faster to just charge on the energy pedestal with the relay, or if it's faster to just stick it in the energy container. But since I'm charging up 2 of them, I just keep it there anyway. Anyways, let's see if we can get to our first... I'd still like to get this Tartaric gem, because if I can get that, then I think I can get this. I don't know what that does. And I think we need that for something. Reagents. That one unlocks Botania, I think. But we can't actually do Botania until we get to this, because I think the Petal Apothecary is locked behind this. We have a lot to do here. Reinforced slates. 2,500 and a Blake slate. We just need one in your tier 2 blood altar. This is Dagger of Sacrifice. Hitting mobs near your blood altar with this weapon causes them to bleed into the altar. The amount of life essence produced increases with the health of the mob. You can either try a self-sacrifice build or a sacrifice build with a mob farm. But with self-sacrifice runes, the former actually works out to be more efficient. Well, that depends on what mob you're doing, I think. And how early your farm is, or how early your altar is. Because the runes... Okay, I'm gonna break this for a second, because I want to show this. This is what I meant by this is going to be really annoying to build for, because we need to be able to build this full altar And this is just how big this altar is at its full size. We do that, and I should be able to right click on you. That is a full-size altar. This thing is crazy big. Not to mention it requires specific blocks. As in, I think these have to be stone brick. Or maybe the stone brick can be something else. These, I don't remember what they have to be. These are beacons, I think. I don't remember what these are. But look how big the structure is. That's insane. And I need multiple of these. What I may end up doing is actually building one of these in the overworld for us to use for things. And then I will build another one in like that void dimension that is just for like automation and wheel production. Or automation and blood production. But I don't know about that yet. For now, let's just leave it there. I think I'm actually going to wrap things up here for now. I got to figure out how this Tartaric gem stuff works. And I got to figure out how much stuff I actually want to try to automate for this. Because if I'm going to try to automate a bunch of them, then I'm going to need to build a structure for all of this and get it into place. So I'm going to work on that stuff off camera. I may actually build, and I'll be breaking my routine here. Well, I've been building all of these as exactly one chunk size. So you can see they actually line up with the edges of the chunks, with the exception of the statues sticking just outside. But like this one is an odd number and sticks slightly out of the chunk. But these walls actually aren't full size in the chunk. So maybe I build another one that's an odd size. And I think our farm one is like that as well. But I think it's on this side, it actually extends one block outside the chunk for the walls. But yeah. Also, I don't remember if I showed you guys this last time. I put another floor on our farming station thing. I'm still unsure whether these ones are actually working or if they're just kind of sitting there. I haven't been paying attention to it much. I know these work. Not very often, but they do grow, and they're keeping us full on wood. But I have another floor up here whenever I decide to add something more, and I think there is something we need. There's like one of these reagents or something, or whatever. What was it? Oh, this. So the arboreal essence, which is used for Orbis Terrae. Yeah, this arboreal essence requires 4 different trees. And I think we're going to need to automate this to some extent. That's going to be a fun one because we have to automate the pyre from roots. I have yet to automate that. But it's got a few things in it. I think this is a tier 2. So that might be in this cluster. Maybe. I don't know. But between this time and next time, I will figure out how I want to do, or how to get this Petty Tartaric gem. It just shows me this, but it doesn't actually tell me anything. Well, I'm thinking maybe I need to have a 1 will quality item. Which means I gotta go find something that can actually survive a few hits. Hey Billy, you wanna be a sacrifice? Is payback for Kyle? I'm not gonna be that mean to him. Snares. I'm gonna need some more of these. There, I have 14. I'll have to go find some stuff to smack around. But as I said, I'm gonna wrap things up here. That's gonna be it for this time, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you've enjoyed. Can I stick that in there? I can. Awesome. I will work on crafting up, I don't know, probably some more of this stuff between next time, just so we can have them for automation prep. I will figure out how we're gonna do our structure over on this island. I'm not entirely sure where I want to put it yet either. Maybe I'll do the blood magic like right here. Also a good area for Britannia. Ooh. How does it line up if I do it up here? Maybe I do blood magic as 2 structures. So I can put a structure for the altar itself, and then I'll put like a structure right here that has all the automations and everything inside it. Ooh. I kind of like that idea. Then I can put the structure like over here somewhere or something. The altar itself. Ooh. Okay, I'm getting ideas. Anyways, that's gonna be it for this time, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you've enjoyed. I will see you guys next time.